Well, the story behind, from what I understand, from Uranus, the planet, was named just from, you can imagine what it's all about there. They've got like natural, like we have on Earth, natural spring water, but they've got natural Vaseline springs, and they're all gay. Oh, they know, they all take it up the ass, whatever, so when you go there, if you go there, or you get sent there, for whatever, when you get close to the planet, if you're traveling, you can smell the Vaseline's like, we're getting close to Uranus, It's like, fuck off. Not your, I know, the planet Uranus. Oh, okay. And then so, well, I found out that how Uranus was invaded, literally, was one person went there and they had to, like when you go there, you get off the ship, docking area, whatever, and you slide down this big, sphincter tube or something, and you land in this place where you gotta get up and stand up, and like it's like a stand-up comedy kind of. You're up there with a microphone, and then the spotlight's on you, and you can't really see anybody, like the people you gotta talk to, and then you hear this, who are you, and state your name and your reason, your purpose here, and then you tap on the microphone and it feeds back, and then you say, the guy said, my name is Cornholio. And then everybody like, whoa, and they all bowed down from what I understand. And like, because they knew there was this god and his name was Cornholio, but they'd never met him or seen him, right? They just knew that he existed. And so this person was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So then this person was like the god, like Cornholio was this king of Uranus, right? That's where they sort of went hand in hand, so to speak, And then so if you get, and then after that, legend has it or whatever, if you go there, it's like Hotel California or something that you can check out anytime, or you can pull out anytime you like, but you can never leave, right? So unless you're really into that sort of activity, then, don't go and, near Uranus. That's what they tell people, right? Tell people to stay away from Uranus. So nobody really, likes to go there. So then, like, what happened? Well, the reason why he was there, because he was there to, after the guy was like, the emperor of Uranus. After a while, the wells started, the natural Vaseline wells started drying up, and then they all turned into like these little sphincters, right? Which is where we get the little, pickled sphincters you can buy in the grocery stores, right? Usually beside the little cans of whoop ass. So I don't think they got big ones now, though. But so they sent out some explorers to come here to find if Earth. They heard that Earth had some natural Vaseline springs, but they weren't sure where. So they ended up going over to Europe, somewhere over there, and they found this place, and they ended up cleaning up the whole place, and then they ended up calling it Greece, the country, because it was a country, but they didn't like to use Vaseline in the countries. So they called it Greece because it was closest thing they could name it, that we wouldn't get suspicious that it was old, excavated or, whatever, dried up the resources. They stole all the Vaseline from Greece and took it back to Uranus. And then, so the guy's name was Chris Columbus, and that's the one who did all, did all he traveled the whole world and met everybody, because he was like, a rock and roll star too, right? So he knew a lot of people in the business. So anyways, that's how that story came, or that's how Uranus is, and you can't even get to Uranus. If you want to get to Uranus, you got to raise a little hell, but that's just like a song, really. But you can't get past the Van Halen belts, which is, above us, like miles and miles of this radiation. And then people say, well, what's the Van Halen belts? Well, what it was created by, the rock group Van Halen. And when they first started getting famous, like, like Tom Jones, all the girls would throw panties up on the stage at him, right? I don't know why, but so the Van Halen concerts, all the girls, or well, some of the girls, but mostly the guys thought that David Lee Roth was gay, so they're all throwing their belts up there on stage, and Dave would be like swinging around and doing his little, whatever, his show, right? It was, strip show or whatever, and he's always taking, whatever. So they thought because he got those high notes, he could sing, and that he was a girly man. So they ended up having so many belts from so many guys, like people were coming from all over the world. Van Halen. That's how they got to be so famous so fast. But all the belts, they just said fuck it, and then their father worked for, I don't know, some company that did some kind of satellite thing. So they sent, well, I'll just take them with, how can we get rid of all these belts, right, without, having to pay for the, in the landfill. So his dad said, well, I'll just take them up with me, on the spaceship, and we'll dump them off over at, the what do you call it? There's a dump up there, I guess, or something. They just dumped them in space. That's why it's called space junk. So on his way up there, when his dad was drinking, right, that night or whatever, like it was a night shift, and that's when they don't have to go through certain security checks, or he would have got busted. You can't get caught bringing those things out into space. So anyways, he's driving along, and then he got into a car accident with, I don't know, it was like Waylon Jennings or something like that, or Patrick Swayze or something. I don't know what it was. Or one of those guys from Facts of Life or something. But anyway, so they wiped out, and all these belts just went everywhere, and then, some solar winds came along, from what I understand, and all the belts went all around, and they just sort of, the gravity or whatever, then the Earth's pull and the vacuum of space sort of they just kind of floated there, like, and they formed this big belt, so thick, like miles and miles, and and that's how the Van Halen belts got there, right? So they're there forever. It's like, even today, like David Lee Roth looks up to there with his scope and goes, I remember that one, and because he can remember a lot of, whatever, from what, that's what he says. I don't know if I'll believe him, but so anyways, it's hard to get through the Van Halen belts, because ever since that night, they've really boosted up the security because of what his father did. He fucked it all up for a lot of people, from crashing and all that stuff. Because if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be there, and we'd be able to go there. But then again, that's a good thing, because if the Van Halen belts weren't there, you could just, anybody could just go to Uranus, and just sort of, come and go in Uranus whenever you wanted, It's like, well, no. So that's what they did, and then his dad, for penalty, had to go work in the vulva pits, right? And that's where they term, when they got, there's always a guard there because of him, right? When you go in, when they went there to excavate or whatever, all the Vaseline from Greece, in the little towns there, they put them in little vulva huts, right? So you go in and out past the guard. You have to go, before you go into the little hut, you got to go past the guard, and the guard would say, okay, you can go in. Then as soon as you get in, another guard goes, get out. So you're always going in and out of these vulvas, right? Like, constantly, and it's like, after a while, you just get sick. And some people, like, really quick, and there's like, oh, and you're throwing up. So you're like, you're puking inside these vulvas, right? So they called those people premature because they throw up so easily. So, and then in that particular town, like in Greece, they call ejaculation, or that vomit, they call it ejaculation. So that's where they got the term premature ejaculation from, going in and out of these vulva huts, and being confused, like, oh, I don't know whether to go or stay or come or go. So they're always coming and going inside these vulva huts. Then that's where, it all has to do with, David Lee Roth. That's where it all started from, all that anyways, So now the history of that. So I wouldn't worry too much, but, So if you're ever looking up into space with your telescope or whatever, if you're ever traveling up there and you see a bunch of belts, that's the ones. That's where they're from. Like early 70s or something like that. I think even nowadays people just, they like to, they send them up there by courier or something, like they mail them to them. Because you can send letters out there, to wherever you want in the universe and it'll get there. You could put like Bob's anal shop on Uranus, and then you have to put a stamp on it. It'll still get there. They'll send you the postage payment, postage due or whatever, but they're not really worried too much. As long as there's no, as long as you're not smuggling like the cheap Vaseline, like Cuba, like they want to keep their Vaseline on Uranus, not have people come in and sort of smuggle it out of Uranus and bring it here on Earth and sell it like Cuban cigars. We want to keep it there, because people just go crazy when they find out that you're from, what they do when the people from Uranus come here and they dress up or they kind of look like humans, but you can tell where that they're, because they smell like Vaseline, they can't cover up that smell. So, if they're walking down some street, and there's like, a bunch of fruits there and they're like, oh my God, they're getting. So I think, some of the, most of the people that visit from Uranus are very terrified that they're going to get kidnapped and then sort of tied up and never seen again, because they're supposed to be like the best, really good at whatever they do, right? So that's what I don't know. I'm not, this is just sort of in, in the first book of Van Halen that I wrote or read. And it's got to be true if it's, it's rock and roll, right? So I know a whole bunch more just from, talking to other people that have been around, So that's my scoop on that. I can tell you more later from, whatever else you want to know. But, right now I got to go pee and stuff, and these beans have been really fucking hurting my ass. My sphincter's starting to swell up. I hope I don't get attacked by, the Klingons from Uranus. Here they come.